Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Okiya Omtata is coming out to lecture William Samoei Ruto as a president whose head is so empty. He doesn't understand any policies that entails about food security in the Republic of Kenya. A president who does not understand about healthcare. A president who doesn't understand about transportation in the Republic of Kenya. When you look at the rhetoric and narrative of Okiya Omtata, is coming out to reveal that William Ruto has submitted our country to be a credit client state to IMF, that is International Monetary Fund, and also World Bank. When you look at Omtata's statement, is coming out to say that William Ruto has swallowed the mind of the white. And whatever he's doing is just literally simple whatever the whites are thinking about our country. The same man, Okiya Omtata, is saying that he is an agent of the West. And whatever he's doing is literally whatever he has been told to do in this country. This is the same man that was seen in South Africa during the AU meeting, where he came out lecturing these West people, the white. But as we speak now, he has been captured by the West and this white. When look at even his cases being withdrawn and also being terminated by International Criminal Court, is after this man has seen bowing and worshipping these people. So this is how Okiya Omtata is coming out to lecture William Samoei Ruto.
And as a consequence of that, the cost of living continues skyrocketing. But as you know, anybody will tell you there are only 4 things in the world that a government needs to address seriously. The first thing is food. You must keep food away from the control of the ordinary fluctuations of prices on world markets, on the open markets. Number 2, you must control the cost of health. Number 3, you must control the cost of education. Number 4, you must control the cost of transport. And if you look at our government, all those sectors, it has done nothing to intervene. So if the government was to intervene and makes those sectors no-go areas for cartels and do no-gooders and the thieves, this country would not be going through the mess it is going through. Somebody will be very comfortable living on the street and sleeping on the rough on the street, but having food in his stomach and being able to be treated when he is sick. It doesn't require a house over food. It doesn't require shelter over health. It doesn't require shelter over education. And it needs to move around. So our government has literally failed to address the key areas, and there are 4. Health, food, health, education, and transport. Those 4 areas have failed. Those are the 4 areas that burden the citizen most. So you need a government that can take political action to address those issues and see how it can cushion the ordinary person from the vagrancies of those commodities, or the effects of those commodities on their lives. But when I look at it, I don't see it in President William Ruto, especially now that he has surrendered his mind to the mind of the IMF and the World Bank. IMF and the World Bank have just one purpose: to create client states. And if you look at the policies that have been rolled out by the Kenya Kwanza government, they are largely designed to make Kenya a client state, to put Kenya on its knees so that you can keep on moving around with a beggar's ball. Production in Kenya has become too expensive. So everything is going to shrink, the economy is going to collapse, and we shall begin begging all over the world. And we shall be a perfect client state for the West. So William Ruto, I think, is empty. This head is empty in terms of what are the existential threats that face the black people, that face Africans. He swallowed the issues of the white man, the way they are packaged. He doesn't understand crony capitalism, how it works. So he has now become an agent of the West to destroy an African state. And some of the things he is doing are bordering on treason. They are treasonable, and maybe going down the line he might be impeached if he doesn't change course and begin or understanding what Article 1 says, that the people of Kenya are sovereign. And when they elected him, there was nowhere in his manifesto where he said that the IMF and the World Bank are going to govern Kenya when he gets into office. He promised to govern this country, but he's destroying it. Everything is crumbling in 1 year. It's not acceptable. So he needs to shape up, or he might get impeached down the line. I don't think his MPs will die with him. They're going to get a point whereby he can be impeached if he doesn't change course and begin doing things that benefit this country, not to benefit the Western powers, not to benefit the World Bank. Right now he wants to sell the assets. These assets, some of them were put up before he was born. Now he wants to come and sell them. What will the future generations have as a state? Those who run the government in future, what will they rely on to run this government? We have already talked of food. We are talking of transport. We are talking of education. We are talking of health. If these things are sold, how will the future governments finance those key ingredients of our modern society? So for me, I think William Ruto is going overboard. And where we are right now, we might be facing an impeachment very soon.
My name is from Digital. I just have one question for you to shed more light on. Recently, we had the bipartisan talk report being tabled by the Human Ishungwa and all the distributors and so on. And one of the key issues they were agitating for was the high cost of living. It is now missing on the final report. What do you say as a legislator in the Senate?
I think that Boma's process was a waste of time. It was a waste of time. If you look at the solutions that provide, I've simply regurgitated what Ruto has been saying all along. Looks like Ruto is preparing for a leader of opposition so that in case he loses the next elections, he will still be in parliament as a leader of the opposition. And there's no other thing that I'm talking about. They're trying to create a job from Davide. What is that? Is that a national issue? Let him fix the cost of living. Let him fix the cost of petroleum. Let him remove the taxes that are driving this country crazy. Let him trim down on the cost of running government, and the people will thrive. Let them allow people to produce. But as I've said, what he's doing is going to lead to an impeachment. He has allowed the International Monetary Fund and the World Bank to capture this country. And I don't think that's something we can live with for very long. That's all I can say.
This is the final question. Do you see a possibility of the official opposition leader in the country, Raila Odinga, maybe coming up with a solution to end the electoral investigation in the Republic of Kenya? Because what we saw in 2022, some Kenyans were saying maybe President Ruto rigged to become the President of the Republic of Kenya. Do you see a possibility of Ruto and Raila ending electoral justice in Kenya?
I don't see that. The only people who could end that was the Supreme Court, but the Supreme Court has sold its soul. Look at what they've done to the electoral system. They even manufactured something called spoiled ballots. When the Constitution does not allow for spoiled ballots, because the Constitution anticipates a digital election, not a manual election. Let us go digital. Let us go the Brazilian way, and we shall resolve all these things. Anybody who wins will be known automatically. Anybody who loses will be known automatically. But the Supreme Court went to bed with those who don't want a digital election in this country. And that's why the mess is. It's not Raila to fix. It's the Supreme Court to get its act together and accept that the system of election that we have under the Constitution of Kenya, which can give us a simple, accurate and verifiable election, is a digital election. And verifiable by who? Verifiable by the voter. I want to be able to vote. I'm given a serial number. When I go home, I go to the computer, to the website of the IBC. I can trace my vote and know that it went to the candidate I voted for. That's the level of verifiability we need. Not all this nonsense the Supreme Court has been putting us through. It has totally messed up the Constitution, and the problem is the Supreme Court, not Raila. Thank you.
Just before you go, many Kenyans have been blaming both the senators and members of parliament, especially during the finance bill before it became a finance act. Some of them are saying, where were you when this thing was being passed?
First of all, the finance act does not come to the Senate. Because of the machinations Uhuru had with in the last government and the kind of senators we had, they agreed that the budget will not be done in the Senate, it will only be done by the National Assembly. It is something we are fighting to change. But then when you go to the National Assembly, there's something they call the budget office. The budget is brought, it's dumped there, taken to the budget office where all manner of things are traded, and then the assembly votes on the report of the budget committee. They don't interrogate the budget. And there's a lot of budgetary corruption that is destroying this country, that we need to focus going forward on Chapter 12 and see to it that public finances are controlled by the people of Kenya. Right now, even if you look at the structure of the Treasury, the Treasury under Article 225 Clause 1 is supposed to be independent. But the Treasury we have right now is headed by a Minister for Finance, a PS of Finance appointed by the President, which means the President controls the money of this country, when the Constitution does not give him any of those powers. That's why those are the kind of problems we have. We have to go back to the design of the country and make sure we get the design correct. Otherwise, everything will collapse.
Now, as if that is not enough, when you look at our country at large, we have something that William Ruto came out fooling Kenyans about health coverage. Health coverage was launched by Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta. This is not the project that William Ruto came out launching. And when you look at this health coverage, where William Ruto is coming up with launching, this was something that was already launched. So I'm shocked if William Ruto again is fooling Kenyans as if this is his project and now starting at zero. But already this health coverage was already launched by Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta and already it started working. When you look at the issue of food security, William Ruto is not understanding on how to come out and formulate some policies when it comes to food in this country. And that is why when you look at the prices of unga, I've seen him coming out to say, amehakikisha kwamba imetoka from 250 to now 140, 130. That is the argument of William Ruto. But when you look at the food security that William Ruto is having, is not the long term. This is just a short term that is going also to be a crisis in the Republic of Kenya. When you look at the transport sector, the same thing. William Ruto does not understand about the transport sector. And that is why the high cost of fuel. The prices is so high. And there is the same man who is coming out to tell us that he doesn't understand on how he's going to reduce the price of fuel. At the same time, the prices of fuel in Tanzania is going down. The prices of fuel in Uganda, the prices in Rwanda is coming down, and the prices across the world is coming down. At the same time, William Ruto is increasing the prices of fuel. With this knowledge is that IMF and World Bank is controlling William Ruto like a remote. So William Ruto must do whatever these people are saying. And with the context of following their policies and their rules and regulations. And after that, William Ruto will have loans from IMF and World Bank. And in any case, is not going to follow these rules and regulations, or rather the policies, then he's not going to get loans from IMF and World Bank. So in other words, William Ruto has already submitted our country to be like a credit client to state. In other words, we don't depend on our own. William Ruto yeye mwenyewe ndiye alikuja akasema kwamba he will govern this country as per the policies that is going to be formulated in the National Assembly. That the laws that are going to be passed in the National Assembly, these are the laws that he's going to use. But as we speak, William Ruto is using the laws adopted from IMF and World Bank. And literally, when look at even the trajectory that William Ruto is having, these are just simple story of William Ruto adopting this West kind of policies. Na ndio maana ameambiwa lazima atumie, na kama hatatumia, hiyo imeisha hivyo. Hakuna usaidi yeyote atapata. And again, William Ruto ni anaonekana ni kama yeye sasa ndio agent wa hii West or white people. Zile vitu zote watu wanataka kufanya lazima wafanye through William Ruto, who has just come out accept the route. So we are being betrayed by William Samoei Ruto. In simple terms, we can call it like William Ruto is a slave to these individuals. And because he doesn't want to leave them, because he understands the benefit he's getting from these people, and that is why he's continuing to worship them and praise them. William Ruto will not come out again to attack these people, because that is whatever they have agreed. That now we are assisting you, we are going to help you to ensure that the economy is going to be stable. But again, at the same time, William Ruto's government is a victim to these individuals. A victim is that he can't do something independently. He must ask. He must consult them. Or else, if he's going to try to do something on his own, the way Museveni is doing, the way Samia Suluhu is doing in Tanzania, then this is going to be against their thoughts. So in other words, it is a clear indication that William Ruto has already been captured. What do you think, ladies and gentlemen? Drop your opinion at the comment section below. Otherwise, thank you so much because of great support. Please consider subscribing, liking, commenting, and sharing this video.